Right. And we're going to give this a second to start recording.
Sure.
And then we're going to start. Hello, darlings, and welcome to A Tags Live, the live edition. I'm your host for the evening, Kodi Maurice Doggette, while Steve V is away, but he'll be back next week, so don't miss him too much. In the meantime, we have with us my much older sister and my boo from another mister, Teddy Alexis. Hi, Teddy. How are you this evening?
Hi, Miss Silly. How are you? How are
You
you?
sure is ugly.
I miss you.
I miss you too. How you been doing?
I've been just working. I'm being good, unlike you guys. You guys have been all over the place, which I love. I've been living vicariously through you all, especially Stevie. Oh my God, that
I
Twitter is on
know,
fire.
isn't it? It's great. We love Stevie and we can't wait to have him back. But in the meantime, we have you and it's going to be lovely. So are you all ready to get into these topics, girl?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, our first story is a sad story. I have to share some horrible news, unfortunately. In Oklahoma, the death of a transgender student after they were assaulted in a school bathroom has sparked widespread outrage and sorrow. Next, Benedict, a sophomore at Awaso High School, was brutally beaten by another student earlier this month and died the following day. The incident has drawn national attention, with many attributing the violent act to a culture of transphobia they say is being stoked by state officials. The assault on Benedict, who was 16, happened on February 7th when three older girls attacked them in the girls' bathroom. Tulsa NBC affiliate KJRH reports that a teacher intervened to stop the fight and staff didn't call an ambulance. Benedict's grandmother, who was their guardian, took the teenager to the hospital that day. They went back the next day after Benedict became ill. Benedict died that evening. This incident has ignited a debate about the safety of transgender and non-binary students in schools, the responsibilities of educational leaders to foster inclusive environments, and the potential consequences of spreading harmful ideologies. Well, first, my heart goes out to the family and all of my condolences. But Teddy, what do you think about the situation and the safety of our transgender kids in this day and age?
Yeah, there's no safety. That's the problem. I think that when I see this case, it's just a clear example of having those hard lines in terms of gender, how harmful they can be, because in Oklahoma, there's a line in terms of who can use the bathroom, and they basically banning trans people from using them, basically because cannot use the bathroom that they identify with. That's the first problem. The second problem is that apparently the school is just kind of like washing their hands of what happened. And the problem is that this kid got bullied, right? And it seems like they had a head injury. That's what caused the death. At least from what I'm seeing, there has to be a further investigation for sure.
Yeah.
But just the fact that people are already coming in hot by defending pretty much the indefensible, which is to make sure that the kids are safe. And we're talking about kids' safety, and apparently, when it comes to LGBT youth, the safety of those kids apparently nobody cares about, and that's what we're seeing, and it's heartbreaking. And rest in peace to this kid, because I feel like there's gonna be a lot to be done after this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. We seem to be the lowest on the totem pole as far as safety is concerned, and we the first to be picked on, but especially in school. In school, I was picked on not as much as some other more flamboyant kids that were in the school, but pretty much consistently, I would say. Not every day, but consistently. So I know how mean kids can be, and my heart goes out to this family because it's a heart-wrenching story. Also, mainly because I feel like no child should be made to feel unsafe when all they're trying to do is better themselves and grow and make sure that they're learning, which are things that should not be in jeopardy as far as their lives are concerned, but because of bullying from other kids. And it seemed like their home life was pretty good because the grandmother, like I mentioned, was raising this child, and the grandmother said that they were learning from Nex, which is a good thing. They shared ideas, and the grandmother let Nex be who they were in this own world and let them find their own path. So people are comparing it to Matthew Shepard. So I think that this is something that I have to agree with because that was such a heart-wrenching death in our community,
Mhm.
and I feel the impact of this as well, unfortunately.
So the big thing is going to be that, unlike Matthew Shepard, who had very good medical care, the
Mhm.
question is why a kid that said that they were hit in the head was not evaluated. Because what I'm thinking is that they had a concussion, and that's his basic. You go to sleep, and you basically your brain just like messes up all that blood, right? I'm gauging from my non-medical opinion that that's what happened. Why
Mhm.
was that kid let go home,
Yeah.
not evaluated properly, clearly, since the injuries, the consequence of the injuries led to death, right? So clearly, they needed to in that environment of the medical attention. So that's another thing. There's another layer to this where we're seeing maybe a very bad medical test. So this is gonna have a lot of legs for sure.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate. Piggybacking off of that, though, Aaron Reed has been tracking anti-transgender legislation for 4 years on Twitter and TikTok, and they have created a legislative map specifically to help answer the questions of what is quote unquote a safe state to move to as a transgender person. Just wanted to share with you guys a couple of the highlights from
Mhm.
the map here. If I can get up on the screen, which I can do. Oh, nope. Okay, all right.
Sure.
Got, I got this. I got this. This is the map right here, and just a couple things. You can't see my pointer, but I wish I was like Al Roker with on the morning.
I love this teaching moment right here. I'm actually
And we'll post this on
kind of
Tags
proud of
Podcast.
you.
I have to send it to Steve. I feel like either a weatherman or a teacher, or this is fantastic, right? But a couple things. The only thing on the map that is a do not travel is Florida, which should be pretty self-explanatory.
True. Very true.
Some of the worst states, though, are Kansas, Montana, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Utah. And they are outlined in red here. And I just want to put out there that I will be going to Kansas and just for about 3 months to visit my mom and to write
Oh,
and stuff like that. So pray for me, everybody.
girl, I'm happy for you.
um, yes, please. Some of the high risk states that are outlined in
Kansas
orange.
is what are the is it KY? Is that Kansas?
No, it's KS, baby. You know what? What's really funny?
Sorry, the US history classes are great.
You know what? Something that's really funny is that this article only annotates the states in the two-letter abbreviation for the state.
Yeah.
I had to go into the annals of my mind, honey. I had to retrieve my old high school education because I was struggling. I was like, I had to actually type in my notes the whole entire name of the state
Mhm.
because otherwise I would be lost. Because who knows the two letter code for Arkansas? Nobody, not me especially. So, so I was struggling. Some of the high risk states, speaking of Arkansas, are Alabama,
Mhm.
Arkansas, Iowa, Indianapolis, Indiana, that's what it is. Louisiana, I
Mhm.
told you I was struggling. Missouri, Mississippi, yes.
Sure. The guy
And
from
then
the
some other ones
Caribbean.
too. All the ones in orange, y'all. How about that? Texas,
Look,
South Dakota, and West Virginia, and South Carolina. What you had to say?
well, as much as I appreciate this map, we have to also say that this is not necessarily true for the whole story because
Oh
it depends
yeah,
on what city you're in. So you
yeah,
always have to be safe. Because I've seen some crazy stuff just go down on like Hollywood. So-
yeah. Oh, definitely.
And California is the bluest. It says the safest state with strong protectors. You know, so
See? Yeah, and New York is in blue too. And to your point, Teddy, I was just talking to a good friend of mine today about who lives in Florida, and they
Mhm.
were just saying how I was, going through my Florida tirade about, oh, are you sure you want to be living there? There's so much that
Sure.
is not okay, not really that beneficial as far as us being LGBTQ plus people about living in that
Mhm.
state. And my friend was said, I never have an issue. I understand that the laws there are not in favor of my lifestyle, but I am living in a place that I feel safe in, and I think that that is the most important part. They said that they were actually thriving in that state. So it really just depends on where you are. And I feel like a part of me feels like the more people that move to these states in order to change the things that are going on there, I feel like
Mhm.
that is important as well. So take this map with a grain of salt, like Teddy said,
Yeah.
and yeah, just do the best you can and do the best you can to motivate people to grow and expand their minds. Any other thoughts, Teddy? Are we free to move on?
No, I love that. And, we all have our bubbles. And sometimes those bubbles give us privilege, right? And something to think about too, to add a little bit of more depth into it, is that we can practice allyship, right? And it's not about our safety, but the less privileged than us. So if we're in that bubble of, hey, I'm feeling safe and great here, there maybe that person be an ally to someone else that is not as safe. And
Yeah,
I get
I
on
agree with
myself
you.
though.
Yeah, I agree with you though. Sometimes I don't feel so safe even in New York City, but that's because of some other things to be going down. All right, moving right along, Teddy. I think it's time. What kind of show would it be on a Teddy and Cody show if we didn't talk
Mm.
about Lady Katara?
Ah, bam, bam.
The hot mess of the millennium. Okay. All right. So, Lady Katara, aka George Santos, the disgraced ex-congressman from New York, who was expelled from the House last December. They deny rumors. He denies rumors that he's seeing an OnlyFans star named Michael Dougherty, who is a babyface 21-year-old muscle twink who says that he's top bad boy on OnlyFans. Page 6 reports the two Long Island natives were spending time together, a claim that Santos denies. The 35-year-old Santos, which pause, did you know that George Santos was 35?
I did know that.
You did know that. Do they look 35?
Yeah, um uh, um, I know he was young, but I'm not gonna comment on how he looked, but I actually
I don't
excited
think you
about
have
this one.
to. I think that laugh said it all, okay? All right.
Okay, it's completely off.
So Lady Katara insists that he hired Doherty for his social media expertise. Teddy, what do you think about
Mm.
Santos and Doherty? Are they in a secret relationship? Or even though George Santos allegedly has a husband that I don't think anybody has seen just yet. Have we seen the husband just yet?
No, I never seen it. I only saw
She,
him with that fake baby once. Remember that?
girl, I remember. I think Lady Katara keeps him in the basement. What do you think about them being an item? And would you hire Doherty? Did you look at any of his social media? Would you hire him to be your social media maven?
Yes.
Huh?
I'm down for all of this. I don't see anything wrong. I think Church Santos deserves some good young twin tops. They call them twin tops. That's what I hear on the streets. I was want to see this. This is honest work, and I support it. So George Santos, the disgraced drag queen congressman, I completely support you. So congratulations, period. What do you think?
Well, I'm glad you believe it because I definitely don't believe it. I think that this is a fake relationship. I think that George Santos is such an attention whore that he would do anything for attention. And I think this is his
Mhm.
latest scheme to garner this attention and fuel for his next endeavor, basically. And if you've seen Doherty's social media, I don't think that they are very good at it. I think that they're MAGA leaning as well. So I can see how they have a
Oh,
lot in common. Yeah, Doherty. So I think
well,
that
that doesn't mean that they're not like the nastiest gay sex that I ever had was in Texas. You know,
Teddy,
I'm just saying.
Teddy.
Text, text us.
They say everything's bigger down there. Was he a
It
MAGA person?
is.
This person that you had
It
sex with?
is. No,
What?
MAGA wasn't a thing when I was in Texas because I
Oh,
moved
okay.
out of Texas before that situation.
Okay. Cute. All right. Well, I approve it. Um,
Texas.
Moving right along to another George Santos story. We got a 2-for-1 here.
Pound,
uh,
pound.
pew, pew. George Santos sued late night host Jimmy Kimmel for deceiving him into creating cameo videos and then improperly broadcasting them on his show, according to court documents. After the House voted to expel Santos last year, he joined the celebrity video message platform Cameo, where he's paid to record personalized video greetings. In December, Santos created 4 Cameo videos after Kimmel requested them using fake names and profiles, according to the lawsuit. These
Mhm.
actions violate the original agreement and constitute clear copyright infringement. The lawsuit filed Saturday in the Southern District of New York alleges copyright infringement, fraudulent inducement, breach of contract, and unjust enrichment, none of which I understand because I'm not a lawyer. ABC, which produces Kimmel's show, and his parent company, Disney, are also named as defendants. Teddy, what do you think about uh, George Santos alleging these crimes against Jimmy Kimmel
Uh,
and the parent companies? Where do you weigh in on this case? Who do you think is at fault?
him, well, him upstanding. That's the question, right? Standing meaning, yeah, you have a case. Let's go and so we'll see the first which picks it up. But it's funny that he's suing Jimmy Kimmel, like, don't scam me, scare, right? Basically. uh, but he might have a case because there are rules about how you can use those cameos. So, but they pay for it too. So that's another side of the story. You all pay for, and these are my property. I order you to create that for me. So that's the question that the the court is gonna take up. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be messy. So imagine, I'm just getting really excited here. Imagine a court case with George Santos where he has to be deposed. Oh my God, please, please, baby Jesus, make it happen, please.
This man needs a movie at this point because this right here is more fodder for his life story. I am so here for this. I do think that unfortunately George Santos has a case in this instance because not only did Jimmy Kimmel and he's on the Tonight Show. I don't think I mentioned Jimmy Kimmel Live or whatever, what have you. They admitted that they did this, so I do think that he has a
Yep.
case, unfortunately, and he will have to be properly compensated for the misuse of his cameos And but I'm just glad that they did it because we have so much good entertainment now because they and if they have to pay a little money, set up a GoFundMe. I'll chip in. So crowdsourcing is the big
Jimmy
thing right
Kimmel said
now.
ABC, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I know he'll be fine, but I mean, if they need to hit me up for a little bit of cash, I got 5 on it. Okay.
Wait, who's giving the GoFundMe? George Santos or Jimmy Kimmel?
No, Jimmy Kimmel, so he can pay. They can pay George Santos.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
I think they're
I
gonna
mean,
settle out of court.
he's got ABC and Disney on his side, so I think you're right. I think that they will be fine. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. I enjoyed the content, so I should be able to pay the price as well, right?
Yeah. You remember the court case with Gwyneth Paltrow?
Who?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
What about her?
You didn't see her court case?
No, I don't.
Oh,
the latest court
these
case.
guy they had a on like some like slope in like some ski mountain or something, and this guy sued her, and he didn't really had a case because he actually was the one that crashed on her, and he was documented. But it was really entertaining.
Oh, with the snow accident, I do remember this. This was like how many years ago? 2 or
Yeah,
3
that
years
was
ago.
over the. Oh, sorry, somebody just cleans his memory all the time.
I'm trying not to remember
2
things
years
about
ago,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
gosh,
How
how
about
long
that?
ago?
What?
Huh?
I said I try not to remember things about Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, she named her daughter Apple, but who is beautiful, by the way. But I mean, okay. And she sold. Didn't she sell like a vagina scented candle? I'm
Yeah, I
good.
bought it.
Think you bought it?
No, I did not.
I think you bought it. I think you got a Gwyneth Paltrow.
Only contact I have with that organ was when I was birthed, and that's it.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, when I come to your house, it better not be burning in the living room, okay?
Okay.
All
I
right.
might have some sunburn candles. That's all I got to say.
Salt burn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Queen. All right.
Look it up.
All right. All right. Moving on to some more mess from Jimmy Kimmel. He's in a lot of things today. This past Friday, Lionel Richie, who co-wrote "We Are the World," was confronted on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. It is Jimmy Kimmel Live. Look, I got a thing right. With the decision to exclude the biggest female pop star in the world at the time from the track during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Lionel said this: "It's probably one of the most interesting questions in the world because we only had a half a line to sing. Let me say this now, a half a line. So we had to have voices that people knew right away. And so for whatever reason, and by the way, we didn't know whether Cindy was coming. We're talking about Cyndi Lauper because ultimately it came down to a choice between Cyndi Lauper and Madonna. Why, I don't know." Richie said the point was you have to have an identifiable voice. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. For whatever reason, it just was Cindy. And after being pressed further about the decision, Lionel said it was definitely a mistake to have left Madonna out. Teddy, what do you think about? First of all, have you heard of "We Are the World"?
My mom recorded it for me. I know you were there at the recording, right?
I was outside. They kept me outside. I don't know why. I was knocking, but
I ask you, since you experienced the 80s, like, fully grown, my question is
firsthand and dancing in a disco. You're right.
Were Cyndi Lauper and Madonna like really like Britney and the Christina of the 80s? Like in terms of no?
No, I don't think so. I think that, well, from my personal perspective, I was a child, number one, in the 80s.
Okay.
So, but from my personal experience, they were not at odds with each other like Britney and Madonna were. I mean, Britney and Christina were. They weren't like I don't think Britney and Christina were at odds with each other. I just think that they were competitive in a friendly type way. And I don't see Cyndi Lauper and Madonna being anywhere near competitive one another. They had their own lanes. Cindy was the
Right.
quirky girl that was doing things over here, and Madonna was the cool girl that was living her life, being sexy. I loved it. I
That's
love
what my
both of them.
question was. Yeah, that's what my question was, because it just seems like everything was framework around either or, not really
Mhm,
about having them both, because it just seemed that so everybody from the ANAs that were that day kind of came, literally just drove to the studio to record it overnight.
mhm.
And there were some misses too. Like, really, you have Latoya Jack and not Janet? Okay.
I mean, Janet probably wasn't available. And Michael, Latoya was sitting around Michael's house, and she's like, "Where you going? Where you going?" And then Michael was like, "You
Just
just
like,
come
take
on."
me. And he's like, shut up, bitch. Yeah, it's funny to me that that was how they framework that. But yeah, he admitted it. It was a miss because now, um, you can see probably we're thinking about Madonna in the lens of, oh, she's probably not gonna be lasting uh any much longer. But
Yeah,
yeah, and
little did he
it was
know.
like,
What?
the documentary. It's on Netflix. It's really good. I watched it. I can see when they're working on everybody's solos, the harmonies, and like some people need help with the pitches. Not gonna say who, but if you're
Say
into
it.
that
Say
kind
their
of
name.
intricate, no. This no.
It's in the
But if you,
documentary.
yeah. But no, my point is that if you like that kind of like dirty like work, and where they're like really working out what verbs are gonna be and how that process was, is really done really well, and it's really entertaining. And you get to hear how the fake lines that we heard for years and years were actually done and really worked out down to the notes that they were doing. So it's on Netflix right now.
Okay. I'm gonna go watch it. You told me some shady stuff that's in it, and you're the shade queen,
Yeah.
so I believe you. So I'm gonna go watch it, and yeah, that's a good thing. Um, who's whose side are you on, by the way, in the Madonna versus Lionel Richie trial? I feel like Judge Judy over here
I feel like that project was not the project to be like, you are not you. You know what I mean?
because they're
Because
supposed to be the
there
world.
were, yeah, and there were people that bet me there. She didn't have a line, and she was like super famous. I don't think did Tina have a line? Tina didn't have a line either. Tina was there, and Tina was huge at that time.
Yeah.
So I mean, why have Madonna Sheila there in the background? Yeah, sure, throw them in the back.
We should have had you as a producer. You know what? I
Yeah,
know. I thought you were my.
because I would like be better than Quincy Jones, sure.
You know, the
Sure,
video
or Michael.
producer. So we could have just thrown her in the background.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. All
I
right.
wasn't
Moving
born,
right.
so
What, baby?
I
What'd you
wasn't
say?
born yet. I was not born yet.
Girl,
So sorry.
bye. I don't believe
Mhm.
it.
Well, somebody's gonna steal their age 10 years. I will.
Ooh, I have something to tell you later on. It's not show friendly,
Okay,
okay?
fine.
All right. So, moving on. In other pop diva news, Ariana Grande announced via her Instagram that she and none other than the elusive chanteuse herself, Mariah Carey, would be recording a remix for Ariana's new bop. Yes, and Teddy is Mariah Carey's number one fan because we know you went to go see her at her
Mhm.
Christmas show when she was in LA. Are you excited about this iconic news?
It came out on Tuesday. It's
Oh,
amazing,
I haven't heard it.
you guys. I'm gonna send it to you. I bought
Please.
the physical copy, which I haven't bought a physical copy of anything in like 10 years. I downloaded on my iMac. It sounds amazing. There,
Your
of
Zune,
course,
you downloaded it to your Zune. Do you remember Zune?
no. Remember, I'm much
You're
younger.
not much.
Remember?
Okay, I would tell you what I was gonna say earlier. That gray in your beard is telling me you're not much younger than me.
You can say that. I love the gray in my beard.
Oh man. So how
Um,
excited are you? Oh, go ahead.
it, it's great. It's a great track. I hope everybody gets it. The Lambali is gonna be happy. The Arenators are gonna be happy. They both sound amazing, and it's kind of like a fresh kind of situation where they're just talking about letting things go, and yes, and I'm letting go of prophecy. I'm happy. And then they have like 27 high notes, one on top of each other. It's like a dolphin fest. So there's a little bit for everyone there.
Cute. I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it. I love Ariana. I love Mariah. They are. You know what? I was thinking to myself. I thought, self, you are not really that big a Mariah Carey fan. And then I went back and I saw how many songs I loved by her, especially her remixes. And then I was like,
Mhm.
self, you're lying to yourself. You are a huge Mariah fan. You've loved her since Vision of Love. And you just need
Yeah.
to accept that. Accept it. She's one of your favorite artists because she's iconic. She's made so many hits. She's the voice of a generation and I just love her. So I can't wait for this remix with Ariana Grande, who is basically I feel like this is passing the torch because
Yeah.
Mariah did.
Not that Mariah is going away anywhere. She's gonna still be there. Just saying.
I
You're like the
mean,
Mariah to my Ariana. Like you're like the elder person that I look
but
up
you're
to.
older
Like,
than me, so I don't understand how that could be.
don't get me silly. You be lying.
You better stop calling me Miss Sealy, bitch.
Well, you called me Sophia last time, so I'm so salty.
Did
I
I
didn't hold this
really?
one. Yes,
I called you Miss Sophia?
you did.
It
You
was
know,
deserved.
I don't let go of things. I price everything that happens.
All right, moving right along. X was set alight as videos alleging to be rapper Drake with his meat in hand spread online. Well, he's broken his silence in a now deleted Instagram story as to whether that was actually him in the video leak exposing his genitalia. In the story, he wrote, I wasn't hiding my meat from the world. I was hiding the world from my meat, signing it off as Poppy. Opinions on the D were divided. Some were surprised at the amount of meat he was packing, while others complained they wanted more girth or that it wasn't hard enough. And since we like dick so much on this show, we thought we'd weigh in. Teddy, have you seen the video? And how do you
Yes.
rate Drake's package? Is a quick yes on the first question, right? Just yes on both
It
questions?
was going on fire. Yes and yes. Going on fire when that happened. Everybody was talking about it, and I think he is a very good-looking man. I think Drake's so attractive. There's nothing about him that is not attractive, and now he has a package to go with it. And what's wrong about that? And I like the length. I like more length than girth, and he looks like more lengthy than girthy, which men of my taste really appreciate. So Drake, I'm available. I'm local to you. Uh, Give me a
Isn't he from
call.
Canada? How is he local to you when he's from Canada?
I thought he lived here in Hollywood.
Oh, okay, all right. You have walked past his house, is what you're telling me.
I just been coincidentally working by his house the last 3 weeks. I don't know.
Answer this question: how many feet do you have to stay away from Drake's house? Just answer that.
Has to be more than 2, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness. I agree with you. I think that the video was very impressive. I was impressed by Drake. I think he's a very handsome man. Like you said, people tell me I look like Drake a little bit, though. Um,
Okay.
no comment.
Okay. Um, like you look like Drake in the video or Drake like in the face?
Below the waist. Let's just say that, okay? And, but yeah, I think it's very impressive, and I think that he should be proud of it. I'm happy that he's flaunting his sexuality and he's putting it out there. And I wonder where the leak really came from. That's my big question. But I mean,
That's
he's taking it.
always that's always what is curious, right? Because it has to be that he sent it to somebody,
Yeah,
or he got hacked. So both of the situations
I
are.
never believe the
Uh,
hacked situation. I never believe that.
well, actually,
I
a friend
mean,
of
it
mine
does
was
happen.
explaining to me. A friend of mine was explaining to me how easy it is for celebrities to get hacked because kind of like the information is all out there.
Hmm.
So somebody that is like very tech savvy can just like put together like words that will be like in within them and can
Hmm.
passwords because as much as we want to be like, oh, my passwords are like, come on, they're usually not, right?
Steve gave out my password on this show to
I
everybody.
know. I like texted him like, what, bro? Change your password right
I changed.
now.
All of them are changed, just so you know. Just so everybody out there knows, all of my passwords are changed now because I changed them when we recorded it, right after we recorded the show. He asked me, he was like, "Do you mind if that's in there?" And I was like, "You know what? Go with it. It's hilarious." And it provided some
Yeah.
context for the show that was going on. So I just went and changed
What was
everything.
that again?
I'm not telling you. Thank you very much. You're not gonna get my
That's for
mother's
your
maiden name.
social.
I know you're a Nigerian prince, and I don't care.
Let's get a positive 26K on my PayPal for some reason. I never get them.
Oh my goodness. All right, moving right along. And to from one sexy poppy named Drake to another sexy poppy named David
Mhm.
Archuleta. He's a friend in my head, a former American Idol contestant, and he's getting heat on the internet about being a full-time bottom. Archuleta came out in the last few years, and his journey as a baby gay, navigating the gaggle of thirsty gays on the internet, has been interesting. This week, a hilarious misunderstanding from the American Idol star led to a series of comments and subsequent TikTok videos of him trying to explain himself. One of those commenters wrote, "I was gonna say being a full-time bottom isn't so dot dot dot." And Archuleta went on to say, "I'm sure that you're absolutely right. For people that out there, I'm sure they would definitely agree with that." He says that he couldn't relate. Archuleta adds suggesting that he is not a full-time bottom and therefore can't relate, as tags podcast full-time bottom. What do you think?
I hate you so much.
As Ted's podcast full-time bottom, what do you think, Teddy, Alexis? And do you think Archuleta is as innocent as he liked to portray? Because he also said some things about misconstruing a short dick joke that was made on TikTok.
This is very good news for me, in all seriousness.
Hmm.
Um, an ex-Mormon that it's full top, it's just literally dings all of my bells. Ding 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 ding. I was really happy. And he looks so cute in that TikTok. Because he's just like can relate. I'm very happy. This is good news. We are ending in very good news. Thank you, Drake, and thank you, David, for your service. We love you. May they
20,
always be in your favor.
2024 is shaping up to be a good year with these leaks, and
Sure.
I just can't wait for David Archuleta to leak because I've always thought he was a cutie, and I've always thought, well, but in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I hope that this man is gay because he's so adorable,
Yeah.
and it disappoints me that he's not a full-time bottom, but I can live with it. I can flip with
Oh my
him.
God.
And I
He's
do
always
not.
been a top man, like a sweet top, like one of those that just like hugs you and he's like, "Are you okay?" Uh,
That's
and I'm like,
me. I'm a service stop.
well, I only heard the rumors. We have to do the research for that, but sure.
Okay. I mean, you could. I can give you some references if if that's what you like.
No, I like to do my own field research. I don't believe in
Oh, okay.
references. Sorry.
Oh, your own field market research. Cool. Sounds good. Schedule an appointment with my assistant. Okay.
In Kansas?
You got to come to Kansas. It's the thing.
I gotta have to wear my red ruby slippers. Oh my goodness.
All right. And do you think Archuleta is as innocent as he likes to portray?
I think he's very. I think there's always the overcorrection with humans, right? So we don't get to do something because some situation in our lives, him being that conservative Christian. I feel like once he decided to, go full force, I feel like he's gonna be all full, like all over the place, pigging, and then he's gonna come back to whatever sets into. I think that's normal.
Yeah, I want to be there for that phase. Yep. Okay.
So
Cool.
call me too, David.
He could be the pass around party bottom. Oh, I can top him and then you can bottom for him. How about that?
I'm down for that. That
Okay.
doesn't sound any wrong for me either.
Or we can Eiffel Tower him. That'd be perfect. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. So the next story is about the color purple. Have you seen the movie, Teddy?
Yes, last night.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
so
wow.
good.
How timely. That is so, you know what? How
What
fortunate
a
for you.
coincidence.
And referring to Ingenue Ellis Taylor, she's calling out her own movie for straying from its source material and sanitizing a Black lesbian romance. While it was met with wide acclaim from critics and audiences, the Color Purple movie musical has also received criticism for glossing over the relationship between Celie and Suge Avery. You can call me Celie all night, and I think it's a compliment. I love Celie, and Fantasia tore up that role. She is phenomenal.
It was
Um,
incredible.
yes. Uh, it's featured more prominently in the book and stage musical adaptation of in either stories screen adaptations. Now, one of the 2023 film's actor is weighing in on the debate. Ellis Taylor, an out bisexual woman, an Oscar nominee for her performance in the 2021 biopic King Richard, recently told BuzzFeed that she was disappointed with the most recent adaptation for focusing more on the sisterhood aspect of the story over the Black lesbian relationship. Teddy, we know you've seen the movie, but what do you think about Ingenue's take on the delesbianation of the movie? I know delesbianation is not a word, but I just made it up for today's podcast.
Delesbianation sounds very cool. I disagree a little bit with her because I actually thought that the lesbianism of it all, and I have not read the book, and I don't think we'll read the book because this story always put me in a very sad place, and I forgot how like sad it makes me see the story. And I saw the original with Whoopi, and I remember that I cried for like a week. When I was probably in my teens, and what I liked about this version, first of all, it's shot very gorgeously. Like it's just, and I didn't think I was gonna like it. I have not seen the stage version because I lived in New York when the first version was done, and I couldn't get tickets. So that narrative that it wasn't selling out, I don't know where that came from because I tried to go for a whole summer, and that was the only show out of the list of 20 shows that I went to see that summer that I couldn't think was The Color Purple because Color Purple was always sold out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're saying. But anyways, let's get back to the movie. So the movie, I actually thought that a gorgeous way to portray this relationship, because there was a lot of silly and Shug in it. I love um, the everything was kind of told in a very sweet way because whenever they're together, they don't show you them sleeping together, but they show you them rising together, which is, I think, more intimate, right?
Mhm.
They spend don't only have sex, but they spend the night together, right? Gorgeous. And then they go to the dream sequence when they're like kind of implying that they're getting married, which is getting together, right? Kind of spiritually. And all that I thought it was gorgeous. I don't I don't know what Angie wanted, right? If she wanted more, I think she just wanted that theme to be more present. Which the thing is, we always have to look at books. Is like a book can hold more information. That's why it's never going to be as much information as the book, right? And that's what people don't understand about movies. Movies is a visual medium. You cannot spend 3 chapters on one issue, right? So I actually enjoy The Color Purple.
Yeah. So did I. I saw it on Christmas Day when it came out with my mother, and we both really enjoyed it. The Color Purple is my favorite movie of all time, the original. This one is very
Really?
good at oh, yes. When it came out, uh, I was very young. And I remember one of the kids in my school in North Carolina was in the movie, and that really set
Oh.
off a whole kerfuffle in my mind about, the
Mhm.
movie and its allure and things of that nature. And then as I grew up watching the movie over and over again, like you said, I cry every single time. It takes me to a place of love, of respect for myself, of that I can do anything. So I think that the message is very hopeful for The Color Purple. I've seen the stage play. I took my mom to go see it, and we went to go
Mhm.
see this version of it, the movie musical, and I thought it was really good. I So there was a point where
Uh-huh.
Whoopi was saying how much they could do in 1985 as far as The Color Purple and the relationship between Suge and Celie, how it could be portrayed in that era. And that, in my mind, set off something. And that coupled with all of the hubbub about a lesbian relation, black lesbian relationship on screen
Mhm.
made me think that it was going to be more prominent in the film. And I feel like I was let down a little bit by the
Oh,
lack of,
interesting.
yes, of representation. I didn't want them to be full on having sex on the screen, but I do think that their relationship and their relationship as far as them being together and their sexual relationship could be explored in a more in-depth way, and then they showed in the movie because I think that it just fizzled out for me. It was just like a kiss. It was like 1985 all over again. And I think it was because they were afraid of scaring off the black audience. And I mean, that's a very valid fear to have, but it's 2020.
Mhm.
We're not in 1985. That's 40 years past. You can think of it that way. And I think that they should have just gone for it. I think it would have garnered a lot more respect and a lot more
Right.
acclaim and a lot more just I would have been more pleased personally. So just do it for me, damn it. What do you think? You have more thoughts?
Well, I was reading about because it was very controversial. The film, the book, the original Whoopi Goldberg movie, and one of the things that they talked about, and this is a documentary I watched probably a long time ago, but I remember it very vividly, where they were saying kind of what you're saying, said, is that there was so many calls from the black organizers about do not make the gay.
Yeah.
Like you need to remove that. So it's interesting that they're specifically saying we are okay with everything about you except your queerness.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very
It's true.
specific message. So that's something that within our cultures we all have to address. Um and yeah, and that kind of hurt, right? And I
Oh, for
wonder
sure.
if having not seen the stage version, I actually thought that, you know, at least I understand like they're gay because in the movie it was so ambiguous and so fast, right?
Yeah, it
That
was.
I was like, I'm like, whoop. And it kind of comes out of nowhere because you like in this one, you really see her like trying to see her in the bathtub, right? And that's a very like gentle kind of like camera. And then all that dream sequence is basically like a wedding, right? So um there was something else I wanted to say, and I forgot.
Well, I'm going to jump in here because I do want to read the book, and a dream that I've had for if anybody wants to buy me a present is a first edition of the Color Purple book. So yeah, I haven't read it yet. That's the only check that I have to check off. Did you think of what you were going to say? It's
No, and it
okay.
was something really good.
You'll remember later, and when we're
I know
offline, when
for
we're
the next
done with the
episode,
show.
we'll see.
You can just come back with it then. We'll just circle back. No problem.
Sure,
So
sure, sure.
we're gonna do some Reddits now. Are you ready for the Reddits, Teddy?
Yeah, which one you want to?
I'm gonna go with the one about topping. Are you ready for that?
Oh my goodness. Uh-huh. Let's
Okay.
do it.
I know you're not familiar, but we're gonna just go with it anyway.
What's topic?
What's stopping? So this Redditor writes in, I have a 7.5-inch dick, but I'm terrified of topping. First, I masturbate almost daily, and I don't know if this is the cause, but I come in a minute. So I'm afraid. So I'm afraid. I love that you're shaking your head. So I'm afraid that I'm going to come too soon during sex too. Any kind of advice is appreciated. What advice do you have for this person that is terrified of topping with a 7.5-inch dick?
Well, it's definitely that. That is masturbating. And so the masturbation, it's kind of stimulating how you're going to have the sex, right? And if you're kind of aiming towards orgasm, right? Instead of trying to get more pleasure in, then it's gonna happen fast for you. I recommend.
Dr.
This
Teddy.
is the doctor talking. Well, my recommendation is get a service bottom that will help you train you up. Do the caveat. Don't try to train yourself without telling them, "Hey, I have this problem," right? So they understand,
This
right?
issue, not
Communication.
problem. Hmm.
No, I would. It's not neither. It's actually this. This is the situation I'm in,
The
and
situation. There we go.
can we work it out together? Because I can have fun with that too. Not
Yeah.
the
7.5
it has
inches?
to be before. Yeah,
That's fun.
And there's also a recommendation to you is like what a multi-round pop is.
A multi-round what?
Pop.
Oh, when you go multiple rounds?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe
Oh,
the
okay.
first one is so fast, but then the second one you last longer. The third one even longer, and then fourth one.
3, 4. I can only go twice in a night.
Oh, that service stop is like not full service.
It's only partial service.
Full service. Okay.
No, not self-service
Cheaper.
because
The cheaper.
partial
Not premium.
service.
7. 11.
2 times is very respectable, Teddy. Okay, I'm a respectable service top.
Plus.
I agree with you, Teddy. I think that they need more practice topping, and that's all it is. I think that I honestly think that from my own personal experience, I'm not sure how this person is going to be when they're actually out there having human to human sex, because masturbation is real sex.
Sure.
Because personally, I feel like when I masturbate, I come really quickly, but then when I'm having sex with someone else, it takes me a long time to come. So you can never predict how soon or quickly you're going to be coming. So
Taking notes.
it takes me a long time.
I'm taking notes.
I've had sex for 2 hours before, so and still didn't come. So yeah, it is what it is.
Oh,
Oh,
lucky Joe.
okay. Teddy, we're cutting that out. Why did you just
Okay.
see? Shady. Are we gonna tackle this second Reddit, or are we going to
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
into Thirst Trap?
Let's
This
do
second
another
Reddit is
Reddit.
fire, though. I kind of am in love with this, and so I love
Okay.
Thirst Trap, but I'm willing to skip it if we get to this.
Okay.
Ready? So the second Reddit
Mhm.
is, it starts out with, "Am I the problem?" And I can say with a resounding yes to Teddy, yes, you are the problem, boo. Okay, I know you wrote in to Reddit, and I know that you have
No
an
worries,
issue
no
with
worries.
being the problem, but yes, you are the problem.
Mm,
Yes, you are the drama. No, okay. So seriously,
yeah.
this person has wrote in and said that their partner recently mentioned that they don't want to have sex every day. They say
Mm,
no problem. But today they found out, today as in maybe whenever they wrote this, they found
mm,
out that their partner has had sex with three separate guys that came around to fuck the partner, the person who's writing this is partner that lied about actually wanting to have sex every day. Um, the partner is normally a top, but all these people that visited them topped the partner. So partner is the partner, writer is the
mhm,
writer, and this is confusing. And the three people all came around to fuck partner, basically. Um,
mhm.
the original poster, the person that wrote this, is normally happy to fuck the partner, but they don't have a very big dick, is what the original poster says. And the partner really likes big ones. He admitted
Mm,
to one of the people, admitted to the original poster, the writer, that one person had visited, but uh, he he did not mention the other two. They're currently in an open relationship. Uh, and they're having a rough time and they're trying to work through it. The poster also added that his partner may have bottom shame and that's why he doesn't want to be open about it. Fabulous. What do you think about this? Because it's a mess, and it's even a mess in the
mhm.
writing because I had to like dissect the whole thing and reinterpret it.
Yeah,
So, what do you think about this situation?
yeah. This person was really emotional, and the question is what the rules are for being open, because open is such an ambiguous term, right? So being open means that occasionally you can hook up, or you can actually date somebody. Those are very different things. Or you can literally have a line of guys come in and service you in a day, right? So that's two different scenarios. I feel like people will not have those discussions, and then get on this shame situation, because maybe for the bottom he is within the rules, right? He's like, well, we're open, and if I want to have three masked dongs in my ass today, I will, right?
Did you say mastodongs?
Dong, yeah. So that's what the question is. And if the thing about the size is actually kind of curious to me, because usually it's been my experience that the people that usually have issues with size is they put the issue on themselves, because I've been with people that I have no problem with their size, and they're like, oh, and they're like, will be like kind of hyping themselves, oh, too small for you. I'm like, no complaints. Like, I didn't say anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's actually kind of curious. Question: how does he know it was three guys, and how does he know that they were home? He
They
has a camp somewhere.
That's what I wanna know. I wanna know how he knows about all of the guys that are visiting, but I think that, I need his spy cam, I need for all the things because I need to know. I'm very inquisitive like he is, so I think
Mhm,
that the lie or the leaving out certain parts, that's also a
mhm,
lie. I think that leaving
sure.
out things in between your relationship, uh, the holding back of evidence is a lie basically. And I think that him lying about not about having sex with these people and not being open, even though we're in an open relationship. I think trust and communication are key for any open relationship. So I think that part really took me out of it, and they
Mhm.
basically need to break up, in my personal opinion, because it's once you lie to someone, then especially about sex, it is it's that's something that you can't come back from, unfortunately. So whether or not it's because you don't have that big of a dick or he is ashamed to be a bottom, all of that is inconsequential at this point because he lied to you. So I think that they should just call it quits, and or they need to work on regaining their trust. But I look personally. Once you lie to me about having sex with somebody else, then it's a wash. So yeah,
But did he lie though?
he did. He left out information, and that, in my eyes, is
That
still
he
a
hooked
lie.
up with one person? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he said he mentioned one person, but he didn't mention the other two people that came to fuck him. 3 people in a day to fuck you? Oh my god, that pussy is loose. Anyway,
You know, sometimes people like they're all about
they
maybe it's not
busted
the quality
open.
of but the quantity of the dick, right? So maybe he just needs 2 hours like you. I'm just saying.
But but they also all have big dicks, so I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, a big dick for a 1 minute is not necessarily the same of a small dick for 20. I'm just saying.
I like that gay math. I love it. Thank you.
Math ain't mathing. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, that's our show for this evening. You can follow our guest host, Teddy Alexis, on his Instagram, which is Teddy Alexis. You can follow me on 2 different accounts. KMD Coaching is my life coaching page, and Mr. Maurice, which is my thirsty page, where I just am basically in underwear all the time. Follow the amazing Stevie on IM_Steve on Instagram, and follow the Twitter at Tags Podcast. All right, Teddy, thank you so much for coming and hosting with me. This has been amazing.
Good to see you, baby. Anytime.
And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay
Gay.
sex.
Woo!
Bye, everybody.